This question is asking us to identify whether an inflationary or recessionary gap exists, and then to calculate the change in government purchases and the change in government transfers necessary to close the gap. So we see in part A that there's $100 billion in real GDP. The potential is 160. So we're producing less than potential, which means that we have a recessionary gap. How do we close that? Well, we're going to have to either increase spending or decrease taxes. For the spending multiplier is 1 over 1 minus MPC. We know that MPC here is 0.75. So we know that this comes out to be 1 over 1/4, which is equal to 4. So the spending multiplier is 4. We need to increase total GDP by 60 billion. So we know that the $60 billion change is equal to 4 times the change in G. And so we're going to do some basic math, divide both sides by 4, and find that if we change government spending by $15 billion, we'll be able to close that $60 billion output gap. When it comes to taxes, we know, or transfers, we know that the multiplier is a little bit smaller. We know it's MPC over 1 minus MPC. So in this case, it's 0.75 divided by 0.25, which tells us the multiplier is 3. Same thing. We know that we need to change total output by 60 billion, and that's going to be equal to 3 times the change in transfers. So we'll divide both sides by 3, and we'll find that the change in transfers is equal to $20 billion. So if the government increases transfer payments, Social Security or Medicare, by $20 billion, it will multiply to 60 billion and close the output gap.